If you own any of the Atomos 7-inch recorders, I have something that's going to make your life a whole lot easier. Stay tuned.
Flash Film Media, inspired by passion, driven by results. Flash Film Media presents What You Need to Know.
What's going on, guys? My name is Ty Turner, creative director here at Flash Film Media and a former Army combat photographer. And today, I want to show you guys something that will help you out. If you're using any of the latest Atomos recorders, any of the 7-inch recorders, I have something that's going to be a lifesaver. So let's get to it. What I have here is the SmallRig Cage 2008 for Atomos 7-inch recorders, and I have a pretty unique setup. I haven't seen it anywhere online, so I'm gonna share it with you guys, and I'm gonna tell you why it's important. First, let's get to the cage. And we're not gonna do a full review because a cage is a cage, but I'm gonna tell you what's unique about this cage. It comes with everything you need: a Sunhood, HDMI clamps, all the screws and bolts you need. It gives you everything for $149. $149. You can't ask for more for $149. One of the most important things about this is that it comes with NATO Rails. So why are NATO Rails important? Why are you starting to see that places? NATO Rails are very important because it allows you to buy accessories and use them on everything that has NATO Rails. So no longer are you buying just a handrail for a GH5 or for a cold shoe adapter that you can't use in the future, but anything that has NATO rail support you can use. So for instance, this handrail can be used on the side, on the top, however I want to use it, wherever there's NATO rail support. If you go back and look at my video that talks about this A6500 selecting a cage, I went with the SmallRig cage simply because it had built-in NATO rails. So if in the future I buy anything that connects to a NATO rail, I can connect it to those cages without a problem. So with this cage, you have NATO rails all the way around it. So any type of cage, handle, two-hand adapter, any way you want to use NATO rails, you can use it with this cage, along with having a large amount of 1/4 thread and 8 thread ports all the way around it. So why do I say this cage is so special? To me, it's special because one of the major issues I had with the Inferno is battery life. It goes through batteries fast. So I was trying to look for a V-mount solution, and I found a V-mount solution. It was $350 for something that should have been $50. In my opinion, it looks like a $50 accessory. I don't know the guys that make it. I've never heard of the company. I'm just telling it like it is. I don't know SmallRig, haven't been provided with one. I have no communication with them. I bought this with my own money because I had an idea to also buy their V-mount adapter and attach it to the back so that I can connect V-mount batteries to the back and use a cable to plug it right into the Atomos recorder. Now I can power my recorder for up to 8 hours on one battery. Now the battery I have here, I can get a good 4 hours out of it, but this battery right here, this is a really good battery. I can get about 6 to 8 hours out of it. Longer than that if I power it off in between times I'm not using it. I like to leave it on and just go for it. But this setup right here has been a lifesaver. So I'm gonna tell you a few things as to why it's better than the one that's $350. One, the one that's $350 connects to your power adapters on the back, and you may think, well, that's great, what's wrong with that? With this, I still have access to my battery ports. With this, if my V-mount battery die, I can still pull power from my batteries while I swap out my V-mount battery. I don't have to stop. I can keep shooting and I can swap my battery out, take that out, boom, bang, pow, we're in. And I use the batteries that's on here as my backup battery source. And with this setup, what I can do is easily swap out my V-mount batteries while my Atomos still runs off the 2 batteries that are connected, and pop in another one just that quick. Bam, I'm up and running, didn't stop production, didn't have to cut it off, can cut it back on and do all that stuff. I have backup battery sources here, so if this die, we're still running off those batteries and we don't have to reshoot something simply because I wasn't paying attention to my V-mount battery. So their adapter costs $350 before shipping. The SmallRig cage is $149.99. The V-mount plate on the back is $63. So you're looking at about $213, which still saves you more than $100 going this route, and you get so much more. You get protection for your Atomos recorder, you get a ton of ports so you can connect it to your device via Magic Arm or however you want. You get NATO Rails, you get HDMI clamps to make sure your HDMIs don't pop out while you're recording or moving. You also get a Sunhood, which in my opinion is better than the Sunhood that come with Atomos, simply because it's smaller, it's more compact, it's easier to use. I don't want to take something that I have to read instructions to put together every time I want to use the Sunhood. And if you've used one of these, then you know that a Sunhood is really not as necessary as you think. I can see this thing in broad daylight, perfect. If it's really bad, then it's nice to have something, but I like the Sunhood that comes with it. I think this setup is great. I'm gonna show you guys a close-up so you can see how I connected the V-mount adapter. Both are available from SmallRig. I still have access to my SD card slot. I still have access to both of my batteries. In fact, I put a right angle adapter for my SDI port so that I can plug up a cable from the bottom or side instead of coming directly on. Just in case I had a bigger battery that covered my ports, I still have access to it. So this is my setup. And I don't receive anything from SmallRig. They don't pay me, they don't call me, they don't send me messages, they don't give me discounts. I bought this with my own hard money, and I'm gonna be honest with you, I seen the two items and I thought about putting them together to get more battery life, more than I was tempted to protect the unit. But there were a few other benefits of this. Being that the monitor weighs a lot more, I wanted to connect it to my FS5 without using magic arms. So I bought the SmallRig FS5 monitor clamp and then a NATO Rail clamp also made by SmallRig. I'll put the link to both in the description. And this allowed me to clamp the bottom of the Inferno, slide it right on. It's completely locked. It's no shaking, no movement. It's very solid and everything is held into place. A few other good things or good notes that you can use with this setup. If you get a D-tap splitter, you can also power your camera from that same D-tap battery that's connected to the back of your Inferno or any other device you may think of. So that's something to also keep in mind. So those are just some ideas and other things that you can do while using this setup. You can also add any type of NATO handle to the top or side or dual grip or whatever you want to the actual unit. Now, there are a few things I want to make sure I say again. I have not been paid by SmallRig. I have not been given any discounts. They haven't helped me out with nothing. I bought this with my own money. In fact, I pre-ordered it from China, had to wait forever to get it. And I've had it for some time, enough time to play with it and give you guys an accurate review. But that setup is a lifesaver. I don't have to worry about battery at all anymore. So I'm gonna ask you guys to do what I ask you guys to do every week. Like, share, subscribe. I want to thank those of you that support my channel. You don't know what it means to us here at Flash Film Media. I love the comments. Keep the comments coming in. I love the dialogue. Let's talk. And follow us on Facebook. Follow us on Instagram. We post a lot of stuff on Instagram daily that may not make it to YouTube, but if you want to follow us daily and see some of the jobs we're on and some of the things we're doing, be sure to follow us on Instagram as well. All right, guys, I'll see you guys next week.
For more daily updates, follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Please make sure you like, share, comment, and subscribe as we work to bring you useful content every week.